The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Welcome to another episode of Gate City Chronicles. I'm Kevin Avard, your host, and usually from time to time we have people that come on the show, talk about their businesses, they talk about local events that are going on, and in the past we've actually had some people talk about their books that they've written, some cookbooks, some books about just art, and today we have a local individual, a commissioner of Public Works, who actually wrote a book, a children's book. And I believe the name of the book is called Too Many Pockets. And I'm looking at the book right now, and it's definitely a work of art. So with that little introduction, I'm going to invite, or welcome, I should say, Shannon Schoneman to the show.
Thank you very much, Kevin.
I love the title. Too Many Pockets. Shannon Schoneman, and I see this little young man with another gentleman, which I believe is Dave Schoneman. Alderman.
Yes,
former Alderman.
Find them very familiar characters in this book. I think you might recognize them.
I do, and I see lots of things in here that resemble both your son and David, and I see motorcycles, I see helmets, I see keys, airplanes, pockets, and just lots of things to talk about. And so with that, welcome to the show and congratulations on the book. This is a nice shiny cover.
Thank you.
And who did the artwork on this?
The illustrator is Sarah K. Doherty, a good friend of mine and a very talented artist who made just beautiful illustrations. As you know, if you have a concept in your mind and you write it out and you say, this is my book, this is my concept, when you see it come to life in pictures, it's really, really phenomenal. It's huge.
How many takes did she have to take to get some of the pages right?
Not many.
Really?
She very intuitively got the story right, almost the first time, pretty much.
So what started you on this whole concept of, I think I want to write a children's book?
Well, I've always liked to write ever since I was little. And I think that people tend to write about what they know.
Right.
They write about their experience and they write about what's close to their heart. So in my home, I would often hear this phrase repeated many times. And it went something like, I can't find that thing. I have too many pockets. And, you chuckle over it. Everybody has their quirks. And I just got to thinking, there's a story here. There's a fun story here. So what I did originally was to write it up. That was the fun part, the easy part. And then I made a photo book out of it for Father's Day one year with photos of the main characters, my husband and my son, and just the things that they like to do together. And that's what this story is really about. And then I started to pray about if it would be a good story to publish. And it started to kind of come together. Publishing is a very interesting process, but it came together very well. And the timing was perfect. It took time.
Did you have to find a publisher?
Yes.
Okay. That must be a really hard process to do. I mean, how do you find somebody to get do you have to have the book all ready before it's published? Or how does that work?
Well, there's two broad categories of publishing. There's traditional publishing, where you get an agent, you find a publisher, you submit your work, and they say yes or no. If they say yes, you are paid in advance, and then they publish it.
Oh,
That's traditional publishing. Now it's very popular to self-publish, and there are a lot of ways to self-publish. A lot of ways. What I did was to go to hybrid publishing. As a first-time author and very naive about the whole process, I kind of jumped in before I did my homework. And hybrid publishers will take your money to publish your book, and they will do some of the work, and you pay for them to work on your book. And there isn't much of a screening process. We'll say, yeah, we'll publish your book, sure. And so you get what you pay for. And then there's another way to do it. There are other ways to do it within self-publishing, but really the way to do it, the right way to do it now, now that I know, now that I'm a wiser author, and I've done more of the homework, and I've done the research, which is what I highly recommend, is that you research it and you research it and you find out other people have done it. They've written about how they've done it. There are classes on how to do it. And that's what I think should be done. And then
is
you
there
can
a
do
way
it all
that you
yourself.
could write something about this size with big pictures for people like myself to publish? If I want to, meaning the research, sometimes you don't have the time to do all the research, but it looks as though you've already done that.
Yes, I think that the two halves of it, the hybrid publishing versus the entire independent self-publishing is, one, you pay a lot of money. The other one, you take a lot of time and you do a lot of the work yourself, because you can do everything yourself. You can do the illustrations or hire an illustrator. You can and should get an editor and someone to do the book layout and the cover design and all of those things, and put it together, and then you send it to the printer, and you find a printer that will print what you want for the price you want, and then you distribute it yourself. But you know what the biggest job in being a successful author is? Do you want to guess what it is?
Wow.
It's not writing.
It's not writing. It's not the
not
story.
writing, it's marketing. With any product, be it a book or, whatever it is that you want to market, the marketing is the biggest thing. You got to sell it.
Is this something that you can find on Amazon?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, and that I've done all myself. The Facebook page, the Instagram account, all of those things I did myself.
Are those things that are required before Amazon would actually entertain the idea of selling it, or how is that process?
Well, through the hybrid publisher, they send the files to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, the places that it's available, and it's print on demand. Someone orders it, it's printed and sent to them.
Oh, that's cool.
That's how it works. But there's another way to do it through Amazon called Kindle Direct Publishing, where you can actually submit everything to Amazon and publish it through Amazon. And then you have a little more control over advertising and things like that. So
you just mentioned Kindle. Is this on Kindle as well?
it is. There's an ebook version.
Do they charge you a fee to do that? To put it on Kindle?
No, that's included in the publishing price with the hybrid publisher.
Wow.
So, like I said, you do a lot less of the work with hybrid publisher, but you don't have as much input into what goes on. And they take care of some of the things for you, the difficult tasks for you, but you pay for it.
Right.
Yeah.
So obviously this book is for young children, I would think.
Yes. I can tell you a little bit about the story.
Sure.
It's about a young boy named Samuel Edgar, or Sam. That was, incidentally, we came across that name. That was our second choice for a name for our son.
Okay.
So I refer to him every once in a while as almost Samuel Edgar. And that was the one we did not choose. But Samuel in this book loves to do things with his dad. He loves to go on adventures, as you saw, sort of everyday adventures with his daddy. So, but he knows that his dad has one little quirky thing in his personality, and that is that he has a lot of pockets. And so there's this refrain of, come on, son, let's go. And then he's flummoxed. He's trying to find what he needs, whether it's the motorcycle key or the fishing lure or whatever. And he's searching all his pockets and his hair standing up and all of these things. But eventually he finds it, and they get to go off and do things together. And that's really at the heart of this story, is that...
I saw one picture with the fishing jacket.
Yes.
Does he fly fish? Right?
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
I noticed that right off. I fly fish too.
Yes.
So there are all kinds of pockets for to hook it on,
Yes.
put it in, this, that, your compass, your clips, your all the things that go along with fly fishing.
Yes.
So you can tie a fly on the spot, right?
There are many people who will say that it's impossible to have too many pockets, but in some cases it can be a little bit of a problem when you're trying to find one specific thing, and that's the snag that Sam and his dad run into here, is that they want to do these fun things together. They really enjoy each other, and yeah.
Is there a resolve that comes to at the end? But
Well,
there must be.
That's interesting that you mention it. The little ones, I know that the little ones really enjoy this book because the language is simple. It's kind of repetitive, so they like that. They like the uh-oh and little things like that. And they like the illustrations, which of course are beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And the slightly older kids will see, these are some of the fun things I like to do with my mom or dad. I like to go camping and fishing and, watching airplanes. And the parents, I think, will like that part too. That I think if we've learned anything in the last year, that family time is great. It's what matters.
It is.
It's not the job. It's not the, going out and doing and buying and stuff like that. It's doing stuff with your family and building those memories. That's really priceless.
Yeah. So. I just as I quickly glanced through all the pages, I also saw a documentary as I'm looking at it and thinking, well, this is former Alderman, David Schoneman, and
Yes.
With his son. And there are lots of things that I admire about Mr. Schoneman, in that very intelligent, very, very articulate. And along with that, like Einstein, right? Einstein had lots of coats, or they say that he needed some direction sometimes. But when I see the pockets all opened up, I'm thinking, okay, he's just got a lot of things on his mind, because he built airplanes, he fixes engines. He's very astute at government affairs and things that are going on, and just a regular conversation and just listening to his language. You see that he's well informed, he's well read, very gentle, but I saw all of that just in a brief thing. There's a picture of a red airplane. Now, you folks live in Nashua, and that airplane actually lives at the Nashua Airport.
Nashua Airport.
So once in a while, I see a red airplane flying over, and I'm thinking, is that David?
Yes.
Because they fly, their pattern goes right over my house too. So, he's also a pilot instructor.
A flight instructor, yep.
Yeah. So,
and a devoted dad.
and a
as well.
devoted dad. Obviously, that's the neat thing. And when you see Dad showing him the picture of the airplane, or maybe fly fishing, or working on an engine, or working in the shop, that's a beautiful thing. That really is a beautiful thing, and those are memories, like you said, that are worth making. But it's almost like you've documented some things also for almost Sam.
Yes,
right?
For our boy. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. As you probably know, most people know that Dave and I are a little older than your average parents. We both married. We were both married for the first time to each other quite late in life, and Isaac was our surprise. We found out 6 weeks after wedding that we were expecting. I was 44 at the time, so we were very, very surprised.
And Isaac means laughter, by the way.
It means laughter, yes. And he was the promised son of an older couple who thought they were past those sorts of things. So he's our gift.
Sarah laughed. Ah, but you did laugh, he said.
Yes.
I didn't laugh. Yes, you did.
Exactly.
That's an inside. But anyway.
We had a similar moment, after we got that great news. We're like, oh, we're going to be parents. And we're like, oh, we're going to be parents. So it's very exciting. And there was a lot of laughter involved. He, as an older father, as a more mature father, he has the advantage of not needing to do some of the things that younger fathers feel compelled to do, is, spending a lot of time at work on their career, doing things away from the home, and, earning a lot of money. I think my husband is much more relaxed about being a parent, and he understands and realizes that this time that he puts in with his son is critical.
Yeah.
And especially in these first years. Isaac, our son, is 4.5, and he's going to remember these things.
Sure is.
So, we make the best of it.
Yep.
Of our family time.
Yeah, I remember when David was running for campaign. Your son was there, and you're just holding the signs and watching, and those are great memories. And maybe they seem long at the time, but when he looks back at it, he's going to really appreciate all the things and the diversity of both of you, of the things that you've done. Getting back to the book, though, so you can find this on Amazon. It's on Kindle, and it's at Barnes and Nobles as well. Mm-hmm. Was that a different process? Did you?
No, that's all part of the publishing process that I chose. That you can even buy it internationally on Amazon, and you can. I think Books A Million. So you can.
When you started writing the book, did you get to a point where, as soon as you started, did you finish it right away, or were you getting excited about it? Did it take you time to do that, or?
Well, I feel like the concept and the manuscript, the writing part of it, was very quick and easy. Mm-hmm. I had it down on paper pretty quickly. I think the right thing to do would have been to get some feedback from other people about it. But I kind of put it on the shelf because I had this feeling that it would take a lot of time and money to publish. So I kind of waited to see, like I said, I prayed about it and waited to see what the fullness of time would bring. Mm-hmm. And when I felt like I was just about ready, I researched publishers, and the first one that came up, I researched Christian publishers, and the first one that came up was Westbow Press, and that was the one that I ended up contacting and using. But there's a lot involved in paying to publish. Mm-hmm. And so I felt like I needed to accumulate the savings and the things that I would need, and I needed to find an illustrator. It was a big... It seemed like a big task.
That's not easy to do, is it? To find an illustrator that's affordable.
You need to find an illustrator that's affordable, but like you said, that understands, that gets it the first time. Pretty much the first time, who understands your vision for the story that you want to tell. And I was blessed by just crowdsourcing on my personal Facebook page and saying, would anybody like to do this? Would anyone like to illustrate a children's book? And I was so surprised to learn that this friend that I knew from our mom's group was an artist. And so we got together and we talked about it, and slowly over time we worked on the concept and the drawings and these things, and it took about 2 years start to finish.
Is she a lefty?
I don't know.
I have a very bad habit of it. When I see people writing with their left hand, I usually say, "Do you play are you a musician or are you an artist?" And 90% of the time I get a, "Yeah." How did you know?
I actually don't know that. That's a very interesting
on
question.
Occasion, it's a dumb question. It's one of those that I'll ask, but
yeah, but Sarah is also a Nashua resident.
Yep.
And
Does she do it for a living, or is it just part-time?
she's a graphic designer.
Okay.
She, like me, is full-time raising her kids. And she also does graphic design. She's had a career in graphic design, and she does a lot of really stellar work in different
Can
media.
you name drop her business, or?
I can't.
Okay.
I'm afraid I don't have the information that would be best to.
Just we could
you
feed
can,
her some business.
Anyone who would be interested in, you can find her name there, and she has an Instagram account, and I know that she has a wonderful, beautiful portfolio of different media. Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, and they can find that if they buy the book, obviously.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yep.
So, Too Many Pockets with Almost Sam. So that we don't call him Almost Sam in the book, obviously. Right?
No, he's called Samuel in the book.
Yeah.
But, the dedication is to my Almost Samuel Edgar. So yeah, this is a fun little book. There's something for everyone in it, and you can check it out if you are the sort that likes to kind of look in the book and see if you think it would be a good investment. I think that the ebook is a good place to start.
So you must have started reading to Isaac way in the beginning. He must love books.
Yes, he's an avid reader, especially if the book involves trains or cats.
Is he reading words right now?
He is starting to.
That's young.
It's young.
Yeah. It's right. I have the 3 children too, and my son, we were homeschooling him, and by the time he was 5 years old, he was reading words, and before he went to school, and it was just doing a little at a time. But it's that quality time that you have instead of watching the TV or the video games. Yes. It's the books.
In our home don't do TV. We have a TV. It's never turned on ever, and we limit screen time for him and for ourselves when we're with him.
Sure.
As a good example, and he spends a lot of time being read to, and using his imagination, and just building those skills that go into reading, and those kind of concepts. He's and of course he spends a lot of time around adults.
Sure.
So that helps too. So yeah, he's very curious.
Now that you've done one book, are you excited about doing another one?
Yes, we have. Once it's kind of a snowball effect. Once you start that process, things will happen. You'll say, "Hey, that would make a great book."
And now I know how to do it. All the hard work has been done, and you have the contacts. You know how to publish. And,
yes,
and market.
We're working on a second book that is about a truck, and but it's more than that. Of course, it's about remembering people who are older, people who are elderly, and their memories and their experiences, and but it's wrapped up in a 1941 Chevy truck. So,
that's interesting.
I think that'll be a fun one. We're still in conceptual phases with that, and I would love to have the same illustrator. So certainly it'd be nice to have a series. So we could have all those things on the Facebook page. We have a Facebook page for sort of the book.
What is the
series.
What is the name of the Facebook page?
The Facebook page is Trellis Books, Trellis.
Trellis Books.
Yep. Yes. I got that name because I really feel like reading together, as you said, that quality time reading together is what really builds it's the framework that that literacy and curiosity and imagination grow off of. Young minds are very agile, and they really blossom when they're given that opportunity. So Trellis Books.
Instagram as well?
Instagram.
Okay.
Trellis Books, Facebook and Instagram. There's a website.
What is that?
It's Trellis Books at GoDaddySites.com.
How did you come up with the name Trellis?
I just felt I felt like it was a concept that instead of the website or the Facebook page being about the book, because hopefully there will be more books about or about the author, which technically is not as interesting as the books.
I'm
really-
not sure, Commissioner.
I feel like this is a good way to approach it, is to have a concept that people can grasp onto instead of just a book or an author. So, and that's part of the research that I've done is...
And trellis, the concept behind trellis?
a trellis is a support for growing plants, growing vines. And I think that's critical, that reading together with your children from when they're very, very young is how they begin to really grow their ability to read, their imagination. Books take them places. So I have sort of this image in my mind of, tender young plants growing up and growing strong and reaching out, but also attached to something that gives them a framework of support.
Right.
And that's the reading with the adults in their life. So that's how trellis books happen to come along.
Well, that's a story too.
That's a story
That's
too.
a
It's
story.
all a story. So if you would like to meet the author and the illustrator, we are having a book signing event, our very first. I'm very excited about. It will be at Janot's Market on March 27th, which is a Saturday, next Saturday. And that's Janot's Market at 2 Cortlandt Street, right there on the corner of Cortlandt and Manchester. And we'll be there from 10 to 2 on the 27th.
Of
March.
March.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can come by, get a signed copy, a copy signed by the author and the illustrator. We'll have some fun things for the kids to do, and treats.
Janot's has I have very fond memories of Janot's. There's a book right there.
Wonderful business.
Yeah.
Wonderful people.
It's been there. It's been a staple. It's been a part of Nashua for a very long time.
Yes.
Yeah, I could tell you. Yeah, it's that's a story in itself. So again, the name of the book is Too Many Pockets by Shannon Schoneman, and again, it's the 27th of March at Janot's.
27th of March.
At what time?
10 a.m.
10 a.m.
10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
And you can find this book on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And we look forward to your success and hopefully many more books that come on after.
Thank you, Kevin.
I really appreciate you coming on the show and sharing this
Thank
with
you
us.
for having
and,
me, Kevin. I appreciate it.
This is going to be great. So I'm looking forward to having Mr. Schoneman come on the show and talk about his motorcycle repair.
He would enjoy that very much.
So until next week, thank you for watching Gate City Chronicles. And if you have a story, if you have a book, you have an event coming up, come on the show and talk about it. Until next week.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.